this is a good point. So the question becomes, who do you sue? It's another good point. You pay attention. So federal claims, big difference between federal and state. Federal claims, you sue the individual officer in an individual capacity. And besides, I don't understand what that means. Look, knowing you're not supposed to. The point is this. The officer, like I sue Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson falsely arrested me. Then I'm suing Bob Johnson. Am I suing the NYPD? No. Am I suing the city of New York? No. I'm suing Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson is in Bob Johnson, which means technically, if the city is to come in, I'm going after Bob Johnson's property. Yeah, I'm going after Bob Johnson. He got a nice brown Bob, what you got? Bob got a BMW. Right. Bob's BMW is my BMW. Bob falsely arrested me. But the reality is, it never happens, right? Mm-hmm. But again, it protects them. So say they get a cop who does something wild, like, I went out and I killed 3 people by accident, right? You'd be like, this dude's wild. We're on the hook for like $7-8 million. We're gonna drop him.
That's enough happened.
We're gonna drop him. We're not covering him. So he's like, he killed me. I got 3 wrongful death cases. Look at that, $20-30 million. You get nothing. Why? All you get is that cop's assets. What he got?
Nothing.
And a lot of times, and he was smart like Amber Guyger. What she do? Sell my house to my mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I got no property in my name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
do they do that often? I feel like
do they cut the cops?
Yeah.
If it's stuff that's really bad, and they don't want to cover it, they'll cut them. Like something like a rape, like I think those cops in New York, they raped someone who was in custody.
Right. Yeah. I remember that story.
They dropped them.
Mm-hmm. And because in federal you're suing them directly, you don't have a claim against their employer, the NYPD?
So
federally?
No, you don't. Now state law, you do. State law, you have what they call Respondeat, which means that if you're working within your course of employment, you commit the acts as your employer is responsible. The federal courts have rejected that claim. Now there is a claim called Monell. And Monell means that you have a pattern or practice of unconstitutional activity in your jurisdiction that the city knows about and that they allow to happen. Now, because you have this pattern and practice, that means that my individual person was harmed because you did not do what was necessary to stop it. But that's a whole separate claim, and
that also requires finding that trail, like that cop has to have a record.
So a lot of times, so they, even you go back to the Boston Gina Amber Guyger thing, they try to claim that there was a pattern of excessive force to get the city responsible, but the court rejected that. It's hard. You got again. I could probably plead the Monell, and I'm actually going to plead the Monell claim about excessive force in the New York Police Department. I can plead it, but the reality also is that what they do is what they call bifurcate the trial. So that means that they'll say, okay, you have a person who you say was harmed by the police, and you have this Monell claim saying this is caused by the police department ignoring these type of claims. All right, you have to win a jury trial on saying that his rights were violated. Once you win the jury trial, we'll let you get to the other claim.
Oh wow.
So you're not going to any discovery. You're not going to touch the claim until you win in a jury trial.
And these claims do have a shelf life, right? They have a.
Well, and all claims have 3 years.
Once you start it, that 3-year period, it's not good to. It's not your fault the case is taking long.
It's not like you have to figure.
No.
Once you file a claim, You've done your due diligence to keep the case alive.
Then that's when the clock's
but if you think about it, it's going to take you 3 years to get the trial. You have to win the trial, and then you're going to get to the Monell discovery. And that's not always happen. It happens a lot. I just have a Rikers case where they moved for bifurcation of discovery, and it was granted. So it's basically the same situation. I had to prove that my client had his constitutional rights violated, and then they'll give me the other stuff, but until I prove that, they're not going to give it to me. And so, that's just the reality of it. So it makes it a lot harder to get these big claims against the city for doing complex things because of you have to prove your guy was harmed first. They're not